Good evening. My name is Dorcia Simmons. I am Chief of Staff for Fulton County District 5 Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. Commissioner Arrington isn't able to join us this evening, but we like to thank everyone for all of their prayers, condolences, and notes and tributes for the passing of his father, Marvin Arrington Sr., who was the first City Council President for the City of Atlanta and also served as a judge for the Fulton County Superior Court. Keep his family in your prayers, and you will see him shortly. He will return sometime this month, but there's a lot of planning going on, as you would expect. But once again, we thank you for all of your prayers, condolences, and well wishes. Tonight is the beginning of our summer district dialogues, which will cover tax assessments. We are having this virtual assessment town hall tonight, but there will also be some that are in person, and I want to update you on those. July the 13th, there will be an in-person town hall that we are hosting with Councilwoman Linda Pritchett at the City of South Fulton Economic Development Office. That will begin at 7 p.m. on July the 13th. There will also be one on July the 17th at 6 p.m. in person in Serenbe at Gainey Hall. Serenbe is located in Chattahoochee Hills, for those who don't know. And if you don't know, you need to know, because Serenbe is a place of serenity. It is beautiful. If you haven't been, join us. July the 18th, we're going to have another in-person tax assessment town hall at the Wolf Creek Library off of Enum Road, right off of Camp Creek. So if you are able to join us in person and you have some questions that you want to address to our tax assessor's office, you're more than welcome. If not, you can join us this evening and stay around to the end. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat and they will do their best to answer your concerns. On July 21st, we will begin our first of 3 It Takes a Village, our back to school giveaway, where we give away backpacks that are going to be full of supplies that students need in order to have a successful school year. The first one will be a drive-through at Wolf Creek Library on July 21st at 5 p.m. The second one will be a drive-through at the Fairburn Library at 5 p.m. And then we will culminate on July 28th at the Gladys Denard Library in Union City. However, we will also have our big check presentation. This Friday is the deadline for our It Takes a Village essay competition for college students. We are going to award 10 $500 book scholarships. So make sure you get your essay in, and we will see you for that presentation on July 28th. Also on July 28th, just in case you wanted to know, but you can also check this out on Commissioner Arrington's social media, personal social media. He has announced the celebration of life and legacy, the days and the events that will prepare for the final burial of his father. On Friday, July 28th at 11 o'clock at Ebenezer Church, all are invited to attend the funeral if you should want to. But also there's a Lion in the State at the City of Atlanta on Thursday, so you can also attend that as well. Then there's something that is just for his fraternity brothers, but that's on the need to know, but it's on the flyer in case you are a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Incorporated. Now, without further ado, I want to introduce you to some, reintroduce you for others, to our Chief Tax Appraiser, Roderick Connolly, who's going to open this up for us. Roderick.
Thank you, Ms. Simmons. I appreciate the introduction. Let me set up the screen share and we will try to get started. Can everyone see the screen? How about now? Better? Good. Well, it's not very often that we get to come to you and share, some of our business, some of our processes within our office. Some of you may have questions, and we want to be able to try to get those questions answered for you. At the end of the presentation, we will have an opportunity for you to ask those questions, and we will try to respond to those questions as best as we can. Without any further ado, I would like to present a presentation, and it's all about our annual notices of assessment and the appeals process. So the Board of Assessors is established by law under Code Section 48.5.290. And it designates that the Board of Commissioners appoints a 5-member board for the Board of Assessors. They're responsible for discovering and listing all taxable real and personal property throughout the county, and also compilation of an annual tax digest. They're responsible for approving departmental policies and procedures, and lastly, appointing a chief appraiser that will oversee the day-to-day operations. Our office is broken up into 5 divisions. Our first division is Support Service Division, which entails Field Book, which is transfers, GIS, and the Homestead Exemption Division. But we also have the Residential Division, Commercial Division, Personal Property Division, and our Standards Division. So let's talk about some of the important dates that you guys may want to jot down and take note of. Well, the first one is January the 1st. That is our date of assessment. All our assessments is as of January the 1st of the tax year, but it also serves as the return period for both real and personal property. On April 1st, that is the expiration of that period, the return period, again, for real and personal property. But it also serves as the deadline for our intake of the homestead applications. That is for the current year. Any application that is filed after that deadline will apply for the following year. On July 1st is the deadline for counties within the state to mail out their annual notices of assessment. And September 1st is the deadline for counties within the state to submit their digest to the state. Some of the processes that our staff is responsible for. So they typically start with processing of land splits and recombinations that are requested by taxpayers throughout the county. They are also then responsible for picking up, identifying, and listing any new construction, either residential or commercial, throughout the county. Processing permitted activity, those that may be doing renovations on their existing property. Sales verification, reviewing sales that happened within the prior calendar year. And for this year, it'll be January 22 through December 22. And making sure those sales are actually valid transactional sales and good for the market. With that information, they go about a process of doing re-evaluation of their assessments. And again, those are based on those sales and dictating how the market has transacted in that past year. And last but not least, they are responsible for the processing of all appeals, should you guys disagree with your assessments. Each year, Fulton County Board of Assessors is responsible for mailing annual notice of assessments to any and all taxpayers throughout the county pursuant by law. It includes an assessment of each property's fair market value, and it also includes at the bottom your estimated taxes. For this tax year, notices were mailed on Friday, June 9th. And as we transition, I will stop my share. Mr. Pickney will pick up from here to complete the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Conley. Are you able to see my screen, everyone?
Yes.
So as Mr. Conley mentioned, this is the actual annual notice of assessment, which gives you a little information on each section of the annual notice. The first section basically tells you the options that you can choose when you're filing your appeal, the options that you want to, the reason that you're filing your appeal. Section B basically gives you the information about your parcel ID and other valuation information. And then the very bottom C is an estimate of the taxes for the current year. Just remember that this is an estimate because it uses the current value, but the prior year's millage rate, because the current year millage rate is not yet set. If a property owner does not believe that their assessment represents the fair market value for their property, they have the right to file an appeal within 45 days of the date of the notice of the assessment. The deadline for this year is Monday, July 24th. And there are 5 easy steps to appeal your assessment. First, assess the value of your home. You will only be able to appeal the appraised value of your home, not your property's estimated tax, which is located at the bottom of the notice. Second, make sure that you file before the deadline. You must file your appeal before the appeal deadline date printed on your notice. If you do not file an appeal by this date, your right to file an appeal will be lost. Third, there are 3 ways to file your appeal. One, online, which is our preferred method because you can do it securely from your home and don't have to worry about coming into the office or mailing it in. But if you do prefer, you can mail it into our office, or you can hand deliver it to any of our satellite locations. When filing your appeal, you must choose one of the 3 options for appeal, either to Board of Equalization, to a hearing officer, or to arbitration. And note that when you file to arbitration, additional costs may apply for filing that direction. Awaiting resolution. Resolution may take some time. You may receive a temporary tax bill while your appeal is pending. Note that appeal forms are available online. Appeals will not be accepted via email or fax. And manually filed appeals will not be able to be accessed online. So the current online services that we have on our website, or you can file your homestead application and special exemptions, real property returns, which can only be filed between January 1st and April 1st each year. And also between January 1st and April 1st, the business, personal property, aircraft, and marine returns can be filed. And real and business personal property appeals can be filed during the time, that 45-day time period online. And then also you can opt to change your mailing address, and that is for real property only. This year, we did a lot of website enhancements to our website. The first is made it more easy to navigate than our previous website. And we also improved the user experience by the comparable search module, which allows selection of various property characteristics to compare similar types of properties. And then it also generates a report that includes a data summary of each property and a map displaying those parcels. To contact us, you can reach us at our main location, which is at 235 Peachtree Street, our administrative office, at 404-612-6440. And then we have satellite locations at the Fulton County Government Center at 141 Prior Street, downtown, and Alpharetta at 11575 Maxwell Road, at Greenbrier Mall, 2841 Greenbrier Parkway. Our North Fulton Service Center is located at 7741 Roswell Road, Northeast, and our South Fulton Service Center is at 5600 Stonewall Tail Road. And now we will open it up for questions.
So if you are an attendee, Dwayne, if you can stop sharing your screen.
Sure.
If you're attending and you have a question, please drop it in the chat. Okay, we have a question. Last year, the South Fulton tax and total city tax was a couple $100, but now it's thousands of dollars. Can someone explain why the South Fulton tax and total city tax are so high this year? Should we anticipate this going higher each year?
Well, I will answer that by saying each property is unique, each situation is unique. It'd probably be best that you reach out to our offices, either by phone, or you can either do so by email, so we can look at your individual situation and give you the best advice possible.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Yes, Michael. Do you have a question? Please drop it in the chat. I am looking for the other question. I don't see it yet. Do you see it on your side?
Do not.
Dwayne, we're still seeing your screen.
I am trying to stop the screen share. It will not let me. Can you do it on your side?
I was just about to.
Okay, now it just opened up.
One more question. I don't see it. I saw he raised his hand, but I don't see the question. If you have a question, please drop it in the chat Q&A. If not, then, uh-oh, there it is. Can you put the contact information again about how we can contact someone?
Should I share my screen?
Do you have that available on your screen?
Yes. Or I can just read it out. You can start by calling our office at 404-612-6440. Or again, you can probably find us on our website also. We should have a contact us link that you should be able to get to us by email.
And also, you can join us for one of the in-person meetings as well, because sometimes they're able to help you like on the spot. It may not be as complex, but if it is a more complex, then do reach out to them by the other means. Seems like we have another question. I had an ongoing problem with my taxes since 2020. Is there an option to speak with Arthur Ferdinand?
If you're talking about your assessment, there's no need to talk to the tax commissioner. We should be able to address your concerns, even if it goes back to 2020. We may not be able to impact 2020, but we will be able to, at the very least, talk you through the process.
So, Dr. Arthur Ferdinand is the tax commissioner, and his job is to collect the taxes. He does not set the millage rate, that's the Board of Commissioners, and neither does he assess the value of your property. That's who we have with us tonight.
Yes.
He is merely there to collect what other entities have already set into place. And sometimes people, when they receive their tax bills, they think because they received it from the tax commissioner that he is that person, and he is not that person. We have some more questions coming in. I did call the number last week and left a voicemail message for my assigned person for my notice and haven't received a return call.
Dwayne, are you able to navigate them on the website? Do we have a office portal?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Do we have an office portal that they can send information to?
They can send it to our general inbox, but I think what they're saying is they call the person that's on their notice and they haven't heard back from that appraiser.
Since last week. They called, left a voicemail, and haven't received a return call.
Okay,
Can you write your send a chat and send your email address so that they can better serve you?
that's what I was going to suggest. If I can get an email address, we'll be able to respond.
Because as it's showing up in this Q&A, the person is anonymous. So we would just need you to provide your email so that they can better serve you. Michael, what method did you use to obtain the real estate values?
Well, residentially, we used market transactions again, as we mentioned in the presentation from the prior year. So any sales transaction that happened from January of 2022 through December of 2022 is what we use to set the market for tax year 2023.
Tracy Matthews, I don't have a problem with the assessment. I tried speaking to someone in that office, but to no avail. Okay. Is it for tags or is it for your real estate bill? Anyway, whatever the case is, please provide your email and our office can connect you with whoever the division manager is in Dr. Ferdinand's office, depending on what your issue is. So Tracy, please provide your email so that our representative, community representative, Misa Henry, can better serve you and connect you to Dr. Ferdinand's office.
And absolutely, and keep in mind, this is a high volume time for us. There are others who may have some concerns with their appeal, with their assessments. But as soon as we get your information, we'll definitely respond to you.
I am getting ready to send you the email for the person who contacted your office last week.
Thank you.
It's in the chat. And
See, Ms. Matthews left hers as well.
Mitza, I'm dropping the one for Dr. Ferdinand's office. But the first lady, that's the one that had already called the assessor's office and didn't get a response. You're welcome. You're welcome. Are there any other questions? Going once, going twice. Okay, so as we adjourn this evening's town hall, I still want to let you know that on the 13th, there will be an in-person one that Councilwoman Linda Pritchett will be hosting. And that will be at the City of South Fulton Economic Development Office. There will be another one on July the 17th at Gainey Hall in Serenbe. And there will be one on the 18th at Wolf Creek Library. We will have our back to school giveaways. There will be 2 drive-throughs, the 21st at Wolf Creek Library and the 27th at the Fairburn Library. Now, you have to RSVP for these events because the supplies are limited. There will be backpacks full of supplies for the students. Then on the 28th, we'll culminate our back to school drive. It takes a village, and we'll do our big check presentation for the college students for the book scholarships. And that will be at Gladys Denard at 5:30. So until next time, thank y'all for joining us. Good night and God bless.
Have a good afternoon.
Good night.